Hope it's visible to everyone's screen and my audio also clear to everyone. Can I
Yes.
confirm?
Yes.
Okay, so today is a day one session. Today we are going to discuss about the course and what is AS400 and what are the career opportunities and why still companies are using of AS400. What exactly the AS400, whether it is a programming language or it is a database, it is some kind of tool, all the things we are going to discuss about in today class. Okay. So first of all, thank you very much your interest in joining my training program. And these are the topics today we are going to cover, like introduction and career opportunities, and additional topic that SDLC model. It is in the real-time project what they are following, how the team structure, if any, if the client wants to design any program or website. So what are the methods, and there would be some process, right? If you are getting the some requirement, we should follow the some process and some steps. Step one like this, step two, and so that is a related to SDLC model, so that we will discuss later. First we will focus on the what is a course and what is the career opportunities, what exactly meaning of AS400, and what are the things if client wants to some functionality, the AS400, what are the capabilities to have to development that application or anything. Okay. So first introduction, what is a AS400? So AS400 is known as a IBM I series. It is also called I series, I Navigator, and IBM 400 and OS 400. So all the many names are there. Okay. So it was initially introduced by IBM. So IBM only developed the AS400. It is an IBM product completely. Okay. It commonly used for the business applications such as accounting, inventory management, or order processing, banking and insurance. So banking and insurance, if you can see that HSBC is totally built on AS400, and HDFC Life, there is a, if you take any home loan or personal loan, right? So you get the loan inside, that is a loan is mandatory, right? Sorry, whereas the insurance is mandatory, right? When you take a personal loan or home loan, that insurance is mandatory, that HDFC Life. So that is also totally built on the AS400. Coming to order processing, it is some retail. When you go to the market and market in a supermarket, so there is a billing system, right? They use the systems and they add the products and they give the receipt. Okay, so that is also the back end the AS400 is running. The inventory management is a warehouse like Flipkart and Amazon. They are using another programming language, but same kind of, if you go with the UK countries or US countries, so there are also some inventory management businesses there, they are still using the AS400. So also insurance, if you take the MetLife is a big product that you are using the AS400. There are another insurance all there. Okay, the vehicle insurance and life insurance, health insurance, so there's a different kind of insurance they are using the AS400 still. And why they are using still AS400? It is provide a very secure and reliable environment for the critical business process. What does it mean, the critical business process? So banking is a very critical, right? So if you are making the transaction, you are handling the amount, your transaction between the one person to another person. And insurance also very critical business, because you are taking some policy, you are paying the amount, and you are claiming bills. Okay, it is a very critical process. So if it is a very critical process, they wanted the secure system, because they don't want to someone hack complete, hack quickly. They wanted some extra level of security to protect their data. Okay, so for that only AS400 provide the very secure and it's a reliable environment, and it is for the critical business process, and it is a scalable and reliable and provide to ability to quickly process the large amount data. So what is a large amount data? If you can see the banking system, so every day most of the transactions will happen, right? So they wanted to process it very quickly. Okay, the large amount of data they wanted it processed quickly. So so that is also can be achieved by using the AS400 systems. And there's another introduction here, so there's some more important points I just note down here. So AS1 also called the application system 400. It's a mid-range server, and IBM released it is a 1988, introduced by the IBM for small and large web mobile application. So you can design the web applications and mobile applications. Okay, and some scenarios the front end would be the some Java or CSS or HTML, and back end will be the AS400. Okay, And some scenarios front end and back end totally AS400. Okay, so AS400 is will be used for the medium and large and mobile applications as well. And AS400 provide the high security, and it is a very scalable in a sense. If you have a large amount of data, and AS400 have the capacity to process it all it, and if you have a small amount of data, AS400 also capacity to process it. Okay, so and reliable and provide ability to quickly process of large amount of data, and it makes indispensable today. A lot of companies, lots of companies widely using it, working with the resources. Okay, that ERP system. Okay, ERP model in a sense. So as I said, in the marketing, any supermarket, if you go and the system and the billing system, that is kind of ERP system. And if you go to the medicals, so they usually use the systems, right? There is a products and they add it and give the receipt. Okay, that is a ERP. And most of the tools built on the ERP tools built on the AS400. Okay, so that is why their screen is a very different. Okay, if they wanted to go with the back, they'll click on the side arrow and bottom for the bottom arrow. So there is a not some web options, like if you go with the Google and search with the Chrome, at the back end you have a back arrow and there's some couple of functionalities there. But when you go to the market, the supermarket and their system, you can see the system is very different, because that there is a design on the AS400. They are still using the front end as a AS400. Okay, that is why their system is like that only. And for banking also AS400 using, and medical information systems, and there are some other points. It's become popular due to wide range of functionality it provides, and very high secure and stable and reliable and scalable system. So today many experts consider the AS400 system to be dead, because if you see this point, AS400 is released on 1988. Okay, so it's almost a very old technology. Now it is a very advanced, that Python, Java, Ruby, and C, C++. There's so many programming languages are there, but still AS400 is a good. Still, the many companies or clients are using AS400 because of security and the reliable and scalable, and it's process a large amount of data. And very first point is a very secure as compared to Java and C, C++. It is a very secure. Okay, so nowadays everyone is saying, since it is a very old technology, some clients are moving from AS400 to other technology like SAP and other things. So that is why many experts are saying to the dead. But however, we cannot agree with this, because the AS400 system has processing the past few decades, and it constantly evolving using the modern technologies, because AS100 is keep updating. Okay, now we are using the AS100 is a power 8 system. Okay, in the power 8 system, so there is a some more features. The performance wise is very good, and you can process a large amount of data, and you can write the other programming languages like C, you can write C++, you can write, and HTML and CSS, all those things you can write in the AS400. So that is why the still there are some clients using the AS400. They don't want it to migrate into any other technology. So because of that, it is not that easy to migrate the any their features into other technology from the AS400 due to the security levels. So a lot of companies around world still use AS400. So there are several important reasons for this: high performance and reliability. And second is that the wide range of options is available. Here you can choose a different system depending on the requirement of your business, and expensive entry level systems. The wide range of options in a sense. So you write the different languages, and you can integrate with the other. The front end can be anything, and you can use with the back end, and you can use APIs, because the API gateway also you can integrate in the AS100 systems. So because the other, the reliable and secure and integrated database, it is having the integrated database. That AS100 is having the integrated database. If you take Java and Python, so if any application built on the Java or Python, they want another database, MySQL or SQL or anything, MongoDB, anything, they wanted the additional database. They don't have integrated database system. But if you use the AS400, it is an integrated database system, and use the modern technologies. So these are the some understanding of few points. What is the benefits and characteristics and web services and the databases, and what does it mean the AS400? So, what is AS400? So far, we learned about when it was introduced, who introduced, and why it is the still companies are using AS400. All these things we learned. And what is a AS400 exactly? It is a front end or back end, or it is a some kind of database or any kind of tool. AS400 is a programming language, like how the Java and Python is there, how you're writing the syntax to perform any logic. For example, you wanted to add some two numbers, you need to write some syntax in Java or Python, right? The same way in the AS400 you have to write some logic. Okay, so it is a front end. The AS400 has the facilities of front end, back end, and database. In the front end, you no need to depend on the any front end tool like HTML or CSS to design the screens or anything. The AS400 has the display files. By using that, you can design the display files, and that can be used by the user as a front end. The front end, in a sense, you need to get some data from the users. Just take an example. When you log in with the Facebook first time, you have to provide your first name, last name, and date of birth, and all those information you have to give, right? Where you are giving, there is a screen. In that screen you can see the some fields. Wherever is the first name is there, you are entering the first name. Wherever last name is there, you are entering the last name, which means you are giving some input. Wherever the fields are there, there is some screen they design. The Facebook is designed the some screen as a front end, and you are they're getting the inputs from you. The same way in the AS400, you can design the screens by using the display files as a concept, and it is also front end. And by using those screens, you can get the input from the users or business or anywhere. The back end, and the back end means, so example, in the Facebook you are giving the first name, last name, email ID, data, date of birth, and everything. So those information can be stored in somewhere. Just take an example that you are created the profile. Now you are giving the username and password. If username is password is correct, then only it going to be navigate the another screen, like the main home page of the Facebook, where you can upload your story and see your friends user stories, all these things. So before going to that screen, what it is happening, it is validating that username is and password is correct or not. How that validating? Backend, there would be some logic. It is getting the username and password which provided by you, and validating that either it is a correct username or password. So for that, they written some programming language in the backend. It can be Java or Python or anything. So in the AS front also, you have a backend system. There is a backend you can write in the RPGLE. Okay, so front end we have a display files, and in the back end you have the RPGLE and CLLE and the advanced level ILERPG. Okay, so these are the programming language which you can write in the back end to validate the user inputs. Okay, so business inputs or business functionality to validate it. For example, in the Flipkart, you are adding the product into the cart, and when you click on the order now and make the payment and goes right. So backend, there would be some backend program that validating all your inputs, or you have done the payment or not, and you are selecting the cash and delivery. All those things a backend program will take care, right? So the same way you can write in the in AS400, you can use a backend program as a RPGLE. Okay, and database. So what is a database? So as we discussed, you have the username and password, and front end you are given the username and password, and back end program it is validating the username or password is correct. So how the backend is validating? So the username and password should be stored in the somewhere, right? Then only the backend program can retrieve that and validate it, right? So it is a, for example, this is a front end system, and here he has a username and it is a password you given, and it is a some backend program you are written. Okay, so before backend program run it has to get the username and password, right? In between there is a database. Okay, in the from the database, backend program will pick those username and password and validate it. So database, in a sense, whatever application or business data is stored in this somewhere in the files. Okay, database. In the real time, you can see the database systems are the MySQL and MongoDB. So there's a many, or Redshift, or all these things, the database are there. But our AS400 system, we use the database, physical files and logical files. So which means the AS400 has an integrated front end and back end and database. If any client they wanted to build their application, they don't want to depend on for the database MySQL, or front end for CSS, HTML, back end for other program, everything they have in the AS400. They simply use a for display files for the front end, and for the back end either they can use RPGLE, CLLE programs, and database they use the physical files or logical files. So which means AS400 has the features of database and front end and back end. So everything you have in the AS400 itself. Thus, that is why the many companies or many clients still using the AS400, because if they wanted to migrate it, they wanted to first migrate the database, right? They have to choose MySQL or somewhere, And for the backend, they also they have to convert it the RPGLE programming language into the some Java or Python or something. Okay, and front end again they wanted to migrate the screens and everything, CSS, HTML. It is a some difficult process compared to other technologies. To migrating the project from AS400 to other technology is somewhere quite difficult process. So that is why the still companies or good clients are still using the AS400, because AS400 has a high performance and functionality is good and the security levels are good, and you can write the more modern technologies and you can process a large amount of data. Okay, so this is a S100, and this is why companies still using the S1. These are one of the most secure system. So compared to all, it is the most secure system is S100. Okay, the first feature, very important feature, why the clients are still using the S400 and why the most of banking or insurance products are built in the AS400, because of the secure system and world. Hence, it's being widely used for the banking and financial service and insurance domain. So where the financial transactions are involved, AS1 is preferred to data processing. It can process the millions of data very smoothly. Okay, so it is a secure and it processes a very millions of data very smoothly. And most of banks and insurance companies and shopping malls, it is using the system backend for the data processing and data management. There are some projects that they might have the front end is different CSS or HTML or something, but backend still they are using with the AS400. The programming languages available in AS400, RPG and assembly language C, C++ you can write, and Pascal, Java, and Smalltalk, COBOL, everything. So these all the programs you can write in the AS400 itself, including Python. And AS100 is a based layered mission architecture, and it enable user to move new hardware technology at any time. Okay, so today you are using the AS100 system for your application. After 10 years, if you wanted to migrate it into another new technology, so that is also you can achieve it by that is also it possible. So there is a some real-time example where the AS100 is using that. If you would have seen the airline ticketing tool, okay, airline ticketing system, like where the flight tickets we can book, right? The front end might seem very user friendly, like user friendly in a sense. So where you can give the from and to, and there is a most of options you can see, but the data entered them front end are eventually processed by the AS100 system. So whatever data you enter in the flight ticketing tool, what data you enter, so from where you are traveling and where to travel and what is the travel date, all those things, it is a business class ticket or economy ticket or you select, right? So all the based on those inputs and backend, the AS1 will process back AS1 is process your inputs and it's book the seat for you and generate the some confirming ticket report, confirming the ticket, right? So that is happening by the AS400 only front end is some CSS or HTML, the or based on your inputs and generating the ticket and booking the seat, all happening through AS400 only. And there's another example. If you look at screen at shopping malls, as I described, like in the DMart or Big Bazaar and anywhere, if you can see in the shopping malls, so we'll see some black screen, and that is a AS400 system. So far, billing as well as AS400 is used. So one of the disappointing thing in why the AS400 is that is the front end is we don't have the more functionality, like, okay, so you for the back you can use the side arrow and down arrow for page down. So there is not more advanced functionality for the front end system. So that is why some clients are preferable to use the front end is different, and the still they use with the back end since the security systems and process the millions of data. So these are the two real-time examples the way the AS100 system is used, which we have already seen our day-to-day life. So this is all about the AS400. So far we discussed. Okay, the next slide. So what are we going to discuss in the course? So we know that AS400 is a front end. It is as a display files, and the back end is RPGLE and database. And what are the things we are going to be covered in this course? So first we'll start with the database concepts. So before that we have some basic thing, what is a library and what is a source physical files. So these two things we discussed, and then the database will start like physical files and what is a logical files. We'll create the physical file and we'll enter the data manually, and we'll see that how database will design. Okay, so next we'll start with the RPGLE. Since we are good with the database, and whatever data is in the database we can retrieve those data, and we'll try to write the some sample programs how we can process the data from backend database, and we'll write some backend programs. To write the backend programs, very important is the built-in functions and opcodes. By using these only, I think by 83 opcodes are there, and it is a 45 something building functions are there. By using this only, we'll write the backend programs. Okay, and we'll discuss about the arrays and data structures. And next we'll discuss about the display files. This is a front end, and this display files and sub files are the front end system. So first we'll start with the database, and we'll go with the backend. And once you are familiar with database and some backend programming system, then we'll go with the front end, like we'll design the some screens, and we'll write the backend program for that screen functionality. Like if you give the some inputs on the screen, and you have to validate it and process it further. So for that we'll write the some backend program. And then we'll discuss about the CLLE. So CLLE is some another program. There's a two programming languages, that RPGLE. The most of an out of 100, 80 percentage they use the RPGLE, and somewhere 20 percentage use the CLLE. There's some clients or projects or applications built on like this. In CLLE, so what is a CLLE and what are the things we can do in the CLLE which we cannot done in the RPGLE? So what is the advantages of CLLE? So since we have a RPGLE, why we need a CLLE? So those all things we'll discuss in the CLLE part. Then ILE and jobs. ILE is a advanced concept of the RPGLE. Okay, updated version of the RPGLE. So we'll discuss about the ILE concept, like what is a module and service program, and what is a binding directory, binary language. All those things we'll discuss. And what is the jobs? And there would be some jobs in a sense. Example, like if day to day the business is running, and at the end of the day or end of midnight, so they wanted to upload it their information into the some respect to database file, and they wanted to update this product quantity or something. Okay, so in that case what will happen, at the midnight the some process will happen, that is a jobs. Okay, jobs nothing but the programs will run by the systems. Okay, if any of program will failed while running that, so how you can analyze it? So those concept we'll discuss in the jobs. What are the jobs, and how many types of jobs in the AS400, and if any job is failed, how we can analyze it? Okay, those things. And SQL RPGLE, because in the any application they're also using the SQL RPGLE, the 10% or 20% they'll use SQL RPGLE. So how you can write the SQL queries in the RPGLE AS400, and what is the cursors? Okay, what is the SQL keywords we use? So these are the topics we'll discuss. And finally we'll discuss about the Zira. So Zira is a kind of the ticketing tool. Okay, so if you go to the any project, or if you're after this course you might select any company or you go into any project, how the work will be assigned, they'll give the some tickets or some task, right? So they most of companies nowadays using Zira. Okay, so we'll discuss about the Zira. And Confluence is a just the project management tool, which means the whatever the project information is there, so they wanted to make in the Confluence. So how we can prepare the Word documents, Excel sheets, like instead of going with those they use a Confluence. And ServiceNow also is a kind of the ticketing tool, and we'll discuss about the Zira and Confluence and ServiceNow, because the most of project they use the Zira and Confluence, and Jira and Confluence, or ServiceNow or Confluence. And some projects will use Zero, Confluence, and ServiceNow. So Zero basics, how we can create the one instant or ticket, and ticket creation. And Confluence page, how you can create the Confluence page. And ServiceNow basics. Okay, and finally we'll discuss about the interview questions discussions. Okay, so these are the things we are going to be covered in the entire course. Like if you can see, we are covering the database and backend program and front end. So all the concept will be with developer perspective, because once you complete the course and the real time, what are the roles in the AS400? Most of like developer role, support role, and admin role, and testing role. Okay, these are the roles will be available with respect to the AS400. Okay, so this entire course will be developer perspective, but if you learn this, you are also work for the support role. Okay, support and developer roles will covered in this course. So admin we are not covered, because admin we no need to learn, because it is a very a few opportunities are there outside in the AS400 admins. Okay, for testing, this is also you can do if you learn this course. Testing, what is a developer role? First we'll discuss. So developer in a sense where I have a requirement to boss just design some screen. For example, I have a requirement, I have a one student table. You have to read that table and show it the information on the some screen. Okay, for that you have to design the screen and read the student table and show all the student information on the screen. So for that, what you have to do, you have to develop the screen and write the backend program. So this comes to the development role, where you write the some program or design the screens or all these things. What is the support? So they, someone already created the student screen and they are loading, but there is a issue that some of the student records are not loading on the screen. Some student information is not present in the screen. So which means there is a bug. So some program somewhere it is crashing or somewhere it is not picking the student details. In that case, what you have to do, so when it was written, who written, and what is the logic implemented, you have to analyze it first, right? What is the screen and how they are reading the records. So you have to analyze it. If you find that was there is a bug, you are reading the records wrongly, and you have to introduce another logic to read all the records. This is a support work, which means the somewhere the system is running, but there is some bugs identify the users or business while they are processing their day-to-day activities, and those issues come to your bucket, and you have to analyze the backend programs and find out the issues and resolve. That is a support activities. And admin, so they, where you have to give the user, for example, you are going to add the new member into the project, and you have to get the user id and password, and you have to create it by the some profile, all those things, right? This is the admin role. Somewhere if you forget the password, or you in the real time project, you don't have a option to forget password and create it, because if you forget the password, you have to reach out the admin team, they'll create it for you another password. And testing, in a sense, here you develop the code, like you design the screens and written the backend program, and now you have to test that student information is loading perfectly on the screen or not. So that is a testing role. And this if you learn all the concepts which are going to tell in this course, you are eligible for the developer role and support role and testing role. Okay, for only admin, so we don't have much opportunities, and even though I don't have knowledge in the admin, so that is a separate course of the admin. Okay, so next, these are some top 500 companies still using the AS400, like American Express and Best Buy, Big Lots. These are the clients. Okay, they are still using the AS400 system. So these are the US or UK countries clients. eBay, FedEx. FedEx, you might know this is and Home Deposit and Walmart. Walmart is the biggest, like a DMart in the US countries. They are also using the AS400, and these are the top 500 companies still using the AS400 clients. And the companies is a banking finance. So if you go with the section wise, what is a banking finance and what are the health cares are using. From coming to banking finance, there are HDFC or Fargo. So these are the JP Morgan, these companies still using the AS400. And these are the logistic companies, they are still using the AS400. And these are health cares, they are using the AS400. Abbott Labs. Abbott, it is a medical company. There is a tablets you might see about. They are using AS400 and Cardinal Health USA, and these are the some company UHS. So the course details will provide after completion of course. I'll provide the AS400 resumes and the session records you will get. This session also recording. I'll upload this record session in the YouTube, and you can access it anytime. And PPTs and course. So we are discussing this PPT, right? This PPT and course will be shared, and course duration is of 40 days. Okay, so I'll complete in the 40 days. So job assistance also provided, like if there is any openings, we'll personally refer to you for that opportunity. And once you get into the job, and if you need any assistance or the phone or some, if you're nearby the location job, as much as possible the job assistance also provided. So these are some career opportunities. If you can see, the TCS and Cognizant, HTL, all MNCs, all Indian MNCs have the AS400 project, and mostly TCS have the most high projects in the AS400. Next, Cognizant have, HCL have. So these three companies have a huge projects on the AS400. Okay, and Capgemini also, and IBM, DXC Technologies, it is using the Smart 400. This is also the AS400 family. Okay, It is a salaries things. So 1 to 5 years you can see five. So compared to salary also you'll get good salary. For example, if you have 3 years experience, you can assume 3 into 2.5. So you mostly get 6.5 lakhs. If you put 5 years, 5 into 2.5, so you'll get the 10.5 lakhs as a package, something. And if you have just some 4 years and 4 into 2.5, so 6.5 years of 6.5 or 7 lakhs, so you will get package. Okay, so how many years into 2.5, so that what package you will get in the AS400. And if you are very have a very good stuff, and you will get 4 into 3 times also your experience into 3 times. So most of companies nowadays are giving your experience into 2.5, and some companies will give your experience into 2 years only. But after corona they are giving the 2.5 3 also. So these are the some Naukari postings you can see, right? So this is a programmer.io, and you can see the Capgemini. Infor is a product based company, and Divers and Accentures. So any questions so far in the AS400? So anyone does not understand that what is the AS400, and still if you have any questions related to codes, anything you can ask me related to AS400.
Chandu, are you audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Hello.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Do you have any soft copy regarding this AS400? I
Soft
mean, course
copy.
details.
Yeah, I'll provide this PPT, and stay if you wanted to go with the soft copies, you have a go for AS400. This is a website. Okay, so it is having the all entire course. Go for AS400. You can just type go for AS400. This is a website having the.
Okay. After this session, you can share the link in the our WhatsApp group so that we will go through.
Ha, yes, these PPTs I'll upload into the drive, Google Drive, and you have the access for that drive. There you can download these PPTs. Okay, the soft copies. And still, if you wanted to explore yourself more, and this is a website, go for as400.com, and here you can see all the information. Okay, all our course. So first we will start with the basic concepts. All this information you can find it in the go for as400. And even if you search with the AS400, you might get another URLs or servers. Anyone have other questions? Okay, if no one have any questions,
And
yes, please.
Chandu, just now you have said that you are going to upload in the YouTube channel, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You can share the YouTube channel link as well in the WhatsApp
Yes, you
group.
will get the sheet like this. I'll show you. I'll prepare the sheet. Okay, this is my previous batch sheet.
Okay.
So like this, you have the sheet. Okay, in the day one, what is the topic we discussed, and the topic YouTube video link. Okay, and material link will be at top. So
Okay.
this is a drive link. You always access this link, and there you can see the all materials. And this is the video links and the course details in the respective video links. So likewise, you can see the all the video links. So this sheet is a lifetime access. You can access anytime. Okay.
Okay.
And materials will be uploaded like this: day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, like this I'll upload. Okay, I also have the access for this drive. Okay, so we'll go. Anyone have another doubts? Okay, So we'll discuss about the one topic, that SDLC, software development cycle. So what is the software development cycle? All the IT companies will follow this process. When they follow this process, for example, they wanted to design some web application. Just take an example, like it's a, you have a some organic products, okay, and you wanted to design some website for this. So first what we do, analyze it, the product owner and project manager and business analyst, and how their website should be, okay. So and how they wanted to design it. So first they have to analyze it. There is a system architect and UX designer. So they'll give the, what are the services we can use for website, what is the front end we use, and what is the back end, what is the back end programming language we'll use. For the front end, what tools we can use. For database, which we think you use. The system architect and UX designer, so they'll design it, what is the tools, and what are the softwares, and what are the things we use. And here the product owner, all these things will design how they wanted the application, how they wanted the website looks like, the what is the backend color, and what are the functions the user have to see when they open the website, okay. And development team, so once this design and this is done, everything will be documented. And the development tool, they'll start the front end and back end developer. The front end developers will start design the website, design the front end page, home page, and orders page, all those things. And back end developer, they started the, if user has selected any function on the screen, for example, there is a Facebook, right? If you go with the sign in page will be open. If you go with the forget password, if you click on that, the forget password screen will be open. So likewise, the backend developer, if whatever the option they selected on the screen, accordingly they have to navigate the another screen, so they will do that. And testing, so once the development is turning, they do the testing, so all the website is working fine or not, all the persons is able to access or not, okay, the person can able to create the orders and place the orders or not. So there is a testing team. And deployment, once testing is done, it will be available for the deployment, the production, right? So it can be go with the real time users, so we can access and you can access that website once everything is done. So maintenance, so what is the maintenance? For example, today they release the website, and there is 100 or some users are keep using that. They might, there is some defects, or they want the support, right? I created the order, but order is still in the pending. In that case, I raise the instant immediately, and I created the order. There is some refund process, it's not happening. I return the item, but refund is not happened. So they require some maintenance, right? The customer support, so the support managers. So this is the development cycle which they follow for the application. First they wanted how the application look like, and what are the programming language tools they wanted to use, and the development team, and the testing and deployment and maintenance. Once application available for the real time users, if they are facing any issues, they want the support. So SDLC stand for Software Development Life Cycle, and it is a process followed by the software building within software organization. Indirectly, we are building the software, right? Software organization. SDLC consists of precise plan that describes how to develop, maintain, replace, enhance specific software. So there is four types of SDLC model, and most of the companies now using the agile methodology. Okay, this is a very popular and everyone using now agile methodology. And earlier they are using the waterfall. Okay, so earlier they are using the waterfall method. Now everyone using the agile methodology. So now what is a waterfall and what is the agile methodology? If it is a waterfall method, so just taking a one real-time application will take the WhatsApp. Okay. So WhatsApp is 2009. So they just incorporated WhatsApp in the USA. Okay. And the 2009 August, the 2.4 released from the iPhone users. And 10 there is a Android OS. And 13 they given the voice messaging and the read recipients and WhatsApp web client. So every year they keep updating their application. Okay. So this is a WhatsApp history. So when it is started and what is the status of WhatsApp. Okay. If WhatsApp is followed the waterfall method, what is the exactly waterfall method? So they develop everything. Okay. For example, here you can see what are the features are there in the WhatsApp currently. One, message, so you can type the message, and you can send the voice message, and you can send the videos, and you can put the status, and you can do the some WhatsApp call, you can do the video call, So these are the features currently WhatsApp have. Okay, if waterfall method, in a sense, you have to develop all these features and release the product. Okay, so you have to develop all these features. You have to develop message and voice and videos and status call and voice calls, video calls, everything you have to develop at a time, and you have to release the product. That is a waterfall methodology. If WhatsApp follow the waterfall methodology, so when the WhatsApp application will be available in 2021. Okay, if WhatsApp is followed the waterfall methodology, the WhatsApp application available for the real time and real time users on the 2021. Okay, so why WhatsApp is available in the 2009? Because they followed the agile methodology. So if WhatsApp wouldn't have released that till 2021 if they are used the waterfall methodology, because they have to develop all these features, right? It is a not easy process, right? They won't develop all these things in the 1 year, 2 years, right? They wanted some enough time to create it, and they want to test it and deploy it and all those things, right? For that it would take the time. So what is agile methodology? Agile methodology, in a sense, so let's create the one feature first. Go the step by step process. First create the messages and give it to the real time users. Keep them using that, and then introduce another functionality. Again introduce another functionality. They keep updating every year so that the application is released early and the users also using, and your product, the business also running, right? So agile methodology. So in agile methodology, they keep update, right? The first they review, first they plan it and design it and build and test and review sprint. Again review, test, building. And they are keep. It is a keep process, continuous process. Agile methodology. Okay, so that is why WhatsApp in 2009 it is just launched, and 2010 if you can say Android version and voice messaging. Since they are following the agile methodology, every year they are adding some new functionality. So that is why the companies are very interested to use agile methodology, because so first they don't want all the things at a time. That is also be prone to the some errors, right? So first they if there is any application they wanted to develop, first they give it as a step by step, which is called a sprint. Within the sprint, and I wanted to release this message application, and next sprint I wanted to release the voice calls, and next sprint I wanted to release the video calls. So likewise we wanted to release it. So that is called the agile methodology. So in the agile methodology, if any company is following the agile methodology, there is a one person called the scrum master. So what he will do, his roles is so all the team having the enough work or not. If team having any blocker, for example I am developing some application code. Okay, so I got a stuck in somewhere, I don't know how to develop and how to write the code, I don't have the sufficient information. In that case you go with the scrum master and you can update it that I don't have a sufficient information to write the logic or design the screen or something, and he is make a note down and interact with the clients and they try to get the enough information for you. Okay, so there's a scrum. And wherever you can see the agile, there you can see the scrum as well. It is a framework getting for work done by agile. It helps to improve the teamwork. How the teamwork, if the team is having the enough work or not. How that the keep getting the update from the team, what they have done in the today and what are they going to do for tomorrow. That is helps to the teamwork and team improvement. And each sprint start with the brief planning, okay, and meetings and ends with the review meeting. What is a sprint? For example, let's consider here. So just taken out this is sprint one. In the sprint one they wanted voice message, and sprint two they wanted in read recipients. So so based on this requirement they split it as a sprint. Okay, and within the 5 days they wanted to do like this, and next week they wanted to develop this application. So that is called the sprint. In the sprint they give what are the things you have to do within the sprint. And if you are not done, for example in the sprint there is a sprint one. In this sprint one you have to design the two screens design. Okay, you have to design the two screens. Unfortunately you have designed only one screen, and one screen is still progressing. So this progressing called is a called product backlog. What is a product backlog? What you are not completed within the sprint, that is considered as a product backlog. Okay, I mean the sprint backlog. There is a list of feature to be developed in the uh, both are same. It is related to whether you can call sprint backlog or product backlog. Okay, and feature list or bug fixes. For example, you have designed the screen one, but there is some bugs, so those also called the product backlog. And there is a second screen is not developer, that is a sprint backlog. And sprint is a what is a sprint? Short term works period when the scrum team works on the complete set of amount of work. So these many days, this is the thing you have to done. So that is a sprint. And there's a product owner and scrum leader where he get the updates and all those things. And scrum development team like tester, designers, all these things. So in the software development team, there's a development team and testing team and operations team. So what does the development team do? It develop the code and all those things. And testing team, whatever the development team is done coding, they usually do the testing. And operations team, they go with the furthest, their deployment and production releases. All those things operations team will do. Okay. So this is the SDLC. So that's all for today class. If anyone have any doubts in the AS400 or career opportunities, and still if no one understand what exactly the AS400, you can ask me any question. I can answer it for you. So that's all for today class. I'll upload this session into the YouTube, and I'll make a sheet and I'll share the sheet link will be posted on the WhatsApp subject. There is a notes is there, right? I'll give you that screenshot. There you can find the screen link. So tomorrow we'll get into the further. That's all for today. Anyone have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can wind up this call for today.